Hey, how you going, folkies? I thought I would take a moment to record a short video for you about the HSP108 case analysis. Now, this is your second assignment for HSP102. It's not supposed to be hugely overbearing, but we do want you to apply a bit of critical analysis in this process. So what you need to find is an example of a police interview, as is the cat doing on this particular picture on my slides, which you can find above this video so that you can download the slides while you're watching me blab on about the assignment. Once you've found your example police interview that you want to focus on, then you need to do a bit of research through the library databases and through Google Scholar. And then you need to do some analysis. So you look at your interview, wherever that might be, and then you look at the research literature and you say, do they balance up? You know, does what the interview is doing, does it measure up to best practice around police interviewing in the research literature? And once you've done that, then you type up your response. And that's the second assignment finished for this unit. So this assignment is due at the end of week 11 at midnight, and the specific date is available up on the Milo site for you. It's 1,500 words maximum, and that excludes your reference list. And it's weighted at 40% of your overall unit grade. So, the case that you need to focus on, you need to find an example of a police interview, as I said, and analyse it in terms of how it went wrong. This example can be fictional, so you can use movies, TV shows you've seen, books that you've read, whatever. Or it can be real, so from anywhere around the world, and could be found in any media format that you choose. So a novel, a film, a TV show, a song, a news article, whatevs. It's up to you. You need to draw on wider readings, stuff from the unit, as well as stuff that you find through the library databases and Google Scholar. So use Google to search for an example, like the cat is using Google, that's, gone wrong or not gone well in terms of a police interview. And this can be anything, as I said before. Find some research then about police interviewing. What does it say to do and what does it say to avoid? Then you need to analyse your example police interview. What went wrong? Pick 2 main points and make links in your paragraphs between your example and your research literature. And that's how you demonstrate analysis, folks, making links between your example and the research literature. Then you write up your case analysis as a mini essay, including a reference list that's formatted using Harvard style. And then you upload your finished assignment to the Milo site. I do have a suggested structure that's pretty straightforward. A little introduction there, and it walks you through how to put that together, introduce the case study, briefly note what the case study interview is and where it came from, and then formulate a thesis statements, basically saying this police interview is not very good because of these 2 reasons. Firstly, it's because of this reason. Secondly, because of this reason, whatever it might be. So that's your introduction. Then you describe the case study in further detail, and that's just 200 words. Very simple. Then you pick out your points about how the interview went wrong. You've got 1 point about how the interview went wrong. You explain your key point, explain what the research says about how the interview went wrong, and then explain what the research says about how the interview should have been managed. And that's how you do your analysis. And then we've got a second interview point about what went wrong, and following the same structure as I've talked about before. Then you've got your conclusion and recommendation, and that's 150 words, summarising your main points, and if applicable, recommending further action about how to resolve these interview issues. And then, of course, you've got your reference list, which is formatted using Harvard referencing style, and I've got a link in the slides there for you. So what does a marking rubric say? We've got things there about addressing the set task, making sure that you've got your concepts clearly and correctly defined, supported by scholarly literature, that your content about police interview problems is well focused and developed in depth. And most importantly, that your analysis of problems is clear and detailed. So you've got very clear points that you're focused on in your analysis. Then we've got parts in the marking rubric that focus on communication. clear introduction and conclusion, clarity of expression, and making sure that you've got fluent writing where your grammar and spelling is accurate and all of that sort of stuff. And finally, making sure you've got an appropriate format, you've got a good 10 or so references, and that you're following Harvard referencing style and that's consistently accurate. So it's basically, the rubric is like a checklist that you can use to check to make sure that you've got all of the different parts there and that you've made sure that you've edited your bits and pieces around grammar and spelling and so forth. I've just got a very brief reminder about how to structure an essay. I'm not going to go through this because there are materials online for you that you can use, but you need your introduction, your conclusion, and of course your body. And the information there is just a reminder about what to put in and how to do it. So what does a good paragraph look like in this assignment? Well, I've given you some examples here. This is a basic analysis paragraph on the first slide. And you can see they've got a good topic sentence, then they've brought in some research, and then they've got a good linking sentence at the end. Then I've got a good example of an introduction where you can see that they've outlined the case in the first instance, and then they talk about what they're going to discuss. So 4 different types of accountability methods will be discussed. Firstly, it will talk about this. Secondly, it will talk about that. Then it will talk about this. Finally, it will talk about that. So you probably haven't got as much room to do that in yours, but it's just an example from another unit to give you a sense of what it's all about. And then I've got a good example of a conclusion there as well that tells you what to do in the conclusion. And you can see that they summarize their points and then they talk about so what for the future of police accountability. Anyway, that is it. I hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch at any time. But on that note, I hope you have a good week and I'll see you all soon. Laters!